Hi, this video is a part of Deep Learning with TensorFlow playlist. In this playlist, I quickly explain the logic and implementation of deep learning algorithms and applications using TensorFlow. Note that I do not code along, rather I make use of pen for explaining the tricky parts of code so that you people can read the notebooks and re-implement them yourself. Code files for each video will be given in its description, so I'm expecting my audience to have good understanding of deep learning and they just need little hints for implementation of deep learning algorithms using TensorFlow. In this video, I'll talk about image generation using variational autoencoders. The idea of image generation is to learn the underlying distribution of training images so as to generate the new images using the learned distribution. Our whole aim is to learn the distribution of training images by learning the parameters of the distribution. Okay, how do we do that? We do that in variational autoencoders using the evidence lower bound elbow as a loss function. Maximizing elbow is same as minimizing the KL divergence. KL divergence is very popular and I'm expecting that you know about it. And I'm expecting that you also know about this evidence lower bound, but nevertheless, I'll be giving somehow a little bit detail about how should we calculate this elbow method. Let's jump to the whiteboard and notebook to understand this idea in better way and then code it in Python. Okay, so generating images using variational autoencoder is kind of a bit tricky because usually autoencoders works in a very simple manner where we have this input image and this reconstructed image, and inside we want to encode it into this lower dimension by minimizing this mean square error between this input image and this reconstructed image. The loss function is simple mean square error between both of these reconstructed and input image, and we just learn this encoded dimension, and backpropagation is really easy. There is no break or any complications involved. So this whole process is very simple, and there are a lot of applications of simple and convolutional autoencoders where we have done this image denoising and image morphing, and there are a lot of things that we have already seen and I have already made videos. However, this image generation is a bit tricky, and there are major two changes that we will be looking at in this usual autoencoder part. So for generation images, what we are interested in is learning this distribution from which these training images are getting generated. So how to learn the distribution? Suppose we are assuming that the training images are coming from this normal distribution, so we have to learn this mean and variance. So this distribution has these two parameters of mean and variance. Once we have learned it, we can generate a new sample from this distribution if we know this mean and this variance. So this sample will be basically an image. This sample will be basically an image. How do we learn this mean and variance? So learning this mean and variance is quite simple, but we have to make these two changes. First of all, we have this encoder part. We can also call it this inference part, because this encoder part is what it is doing is capturing this hidden latent dimension or the hidden features or the encoded dimension. There are a lot of names for it, but this is kind of a compression part where this image is compressed or reduced into this latent dimension. Once That's why we are calling it inference net or encoder part, because we are encoding this image or we are inferring this latent dimensions from this image. And this second part, this second network, is also called decoder network or the generative network, because given this latent dimension or hidden dimension, we are generating or reconstructing this image. In usual autoencoders, we are interested in reconstructing the image. For that reason we use this mean square error. However, we are not interested here in finding out this reconstructed image. Instead, we are interested in finding the mean and variance. So for that reason, we will not be outputting this reconstructed image. Instead, we will be outputting the probabilities for each image class. Okay, then let me show you this difference. The first difference or the first change from usual autoencoders is that this latent dimension will be divided into two parts. The first part will be called mean and the second part will be called variance. Okay, now given this mean and variance, what we are interested in is generating a new image. Now, how do we learn this mean and variance values in such a way that this generative network or this decoder network generates images which are close to the original images? For that reason, we will be using elbow loss. So most important part is this elbow loss, which is this second change. So elbow loss is what we call evidence lower bound loss, and you can find out the details about it. But maximizing elbow is similar to minimizing this KL divergence, and KL divergence is very popular for learning different distribution and finding out learning the distributions and finding out the difference between two distributions. So how do we do it? Given this mean and variance value, this decoder is kind of a generator which is giving us these probabilities. This is first form of probabilities that we are getting from this decoder, and second form of probabilities will be actually coming from our own log normal probability distribution function. given this mean and variance. So this difference between this log normal probability distribution function values and these output values of the generative network or the decoder network, this difference will give us the effectiveness of this whole network, of this decoder network. If these probabilities are if this distribution, because this is kind of generation of values given this mean and variance, this latent dimension is close to the usual log normal probability distribution function, then it means this decoder that this generative or decoder network is performing very well. If it is not doing very well, then it means we have to shift this mean and standard deviation values or mean or and variance values in such a way that this generative network performs in much more better direction. Okay, now how do we do that? First of all, given this mean and variance value, this derivative term that we will be calculating after elbow function that I'll be explaining is not differentiable if we generate random values from this mean and variance. However, we reparameterize this mean and variance using this formula where we are having this variance divided by 2 and we take exponential of it and we add mean to it and we multiply this random nice kind of a thing, this epsilon, which I'll be showing in coding. This is the output from this formula. Once we have calculated it, then we will be using this output, because this output is then now differentiable and we can calculate this the values for this mean and variance is now differentiable. So this is kind of a beautiful trick to get out of this gradient problem in case of generation. Okay, now what we will be doing is using this output, we will apply this generative network to predict the probabilities for each of the class, and then using these probabilities we'll find out the cross entropy loss. Let's call this whole process A of finding this cross entropy loss. And then what we are interested in is that given mean and variance, we find out the probability of each of the class given this normal distribution, but we will be working with log normal distribution because it's much more easier to work with log normal, and it also does not affect this minimization or maximization function. So because log is a continuous increasing function, so the maximization of normal distribution and log normal distribution will be same, so the whole objective function won't affect by introducing this log value. So we will also be calculating the log of variance instead of simple variance, just because of that reason, which this minor detail will be captured in the coding part. Let me go there in a bit and you will understand that in the coding part. Okay, once we have these probabilities, let's call that B. Then also find out the probabilities with zero mean and variance, so this, let's call that C. Now this is how we calculate the final loss. We add the cross entropy loss plus C. This C is basically the output probabilities with zero mean and zero variance, and this B is actually this coming from the actual distribution having mean and variance, having input mean and variance. So we are kind of subtracting and we are kind of finding out the difference in both of these distribution, as I have already explained, difference in distributions. And we are interested in is learning these two distributions, is to minimize this difference, and in the process we want to learn the mean and variance which are generating these values. So given these values, all of the derivatives will be adjusting these mean and variance values. Okay, now the whole process is very simple. Learn mean and variance using this loss function, which is called this elbow loss, and you can find out the details in internet, in articles, in papers. There are a lot of details. This ABC, this whole explanation is for the elbow loss. And one more thing is this trick that we have introduced. Look for this trick in any paper which explains, or in any book which explains this variational autoencoder. You can find out the theoretical explanation of it, that why it was introduced, and this division of mean and variance, calling this half of the values mean and other half of the values variance. These are the three important things that we have introduced, which are different from the simple autoencoders. And if you understand these three things, then I think so this coding part will become very easy. Dividing this latent dimension and encoded dimension into mean and variance, adding this tricky parts, this trick part to find out smooth gradients for adjustment of mean and variance, to learn this mean and variance parameters for distribution, and then finding out this loss using this cross entropy loss and this probabilities given the distribution function parameters mean and variance, and using this loss function applying the gradients to adjust these means and variance values. Once we have these final mean and variance values, then we will generate new images. Okay, so we will begin by importing all the necessary libraries. Then we will be loading with MNIST dataset. So the MNIST dataset is actually one-dimensional dataset having 28 dimensions for images, and then we will divide it by 255. So our range of values are between 0 to 1, and then we will binarize it. So all of the values will be either 0 or 1. Looking at this 0.5 values. So after binarization, so this is the image for suppose value 0. Now Then what we will be doing is that we will be creating this slices for training and testing, and this is the main part where we are applying, where we are defining all of the details of convolutional variational autoencoder. So the first part is this latent dimension that we are interested in. So how many latent dimension that we are interested in? Given this input latent dimension, then we will be defining this inference net. How do we do it? By using this sequential API, having this input layer and then con 2D layer, then another con 2D layer, and then we flatten it, and then we apply the dense layer by using this latent dimension plus latent dimension. This first one is for mean, this second one is for the variance. Once we have done it, then we apply the generative network again in sequential form. However, in this case, in generative network, because we are dealing with convolutional neural networks, so we will be deconvolving it. In deconvolution, what we are interested in is that the final filter that we had used in the encoder part, in the convolution part, we will be using the same filter in deconvolution part. And the 32, look at this 32 and 32. So finally, in the final layer, we are having this filter 1 because the input channel is 1. So the depth is 1, so filter is 1. So this is kind of a deconvolution that we are applying. This is simple autoencoder kind of a thing, but the only difference, as I've already explained, is this latent dimension plus latent dimension. So this part is encoder part or inference net part. This is the decoder part, or what we call generative net part. This latent dimension plus latent dimension is just dividing this whole thing into mean and variance. Now there are four another functions that we need to understand. The first one is sample. Inside sample function, we are applying this decode function, and inside this decode function, we are actually applying this generative net. So this generative net will predict the probabilities for each of the class, and we'll apply this sigma function to predict the probabilities for each of the class. So in a way, this sample function combined with this decode function is giving us these probabilities for each of the class. Then this is encode. There is an encoder part which is kind of simply applying this inference net, and given this inference net, we are also dividing it into two so that we get this mean and log variance. Okay, this is what we call log variance, not variance, just only variance, because we will be using this log normal probability distribution function. Okay, given this mean and log variance values, then what we will be doing is we'll reparameterize it, which I have already explained that what is it, why we do it. Okay, this is the whole class, and this is the whole coding, this single class coding, which is the first part is very simple, which is very similar to the autoencoder. However, we have these three small functions which we have added. Okay, once we have done that, then we will use this Adam optimizer, and then there are two things that we will be adding more. One is this log normal probability distribution function. We know this formula for log normal probability distribution function, and we'll be using this formula for finding out the output probabilities or values given this mean and log variance. This is important. So this is a kind of an actual values. This is what we could say in a way that these are the actual values, and this is the B part that I explained on the whiteboard. So this is kind of a B part, and then this is the A part where we, given this mean and log variance, we reparameterize it and then we decode it. So this is the logits, the final probabilities, and then we apply this cross entropy and we reduce it. So this log pxz, this is basically what I was talking about in the A part. This is the A part. So till now we calculate this cross entropy loss, and then this is the C part where we are calculating this log normal probability distribution function having zero mean and variance. What we will be doing is we will be adding this first two parts, this log px given z and log of pz. So this is what we are adding together, and then we will be subtracting from this log qz given x. This is the log normal probability distribution function. Okay, once we have done that, then we apply this is the function for computing this gradients, where we are having this loss. We compute the loss, and given this loss, we apply this function tape.gradients to adjust these trainable variables. And once we have done that, then we initialize, then we, for 100 epochs and for 50 latent dimensions, then we define this architecture inside this class, convolutional variational autoencoders. This model contains the architecture. Once we have done that, then we will generate 16 images of random noise, of complete noise. So these 16 images will be complete noise. Let me show you. So this is how it will look in the first step. So this will be complete noise, but from this complete noise, it will move from complete noise to these beautifully generated images. So this will be the end product. Okay, so these are 100 epochs, so these are 100 images animated together from random nice to these images. How it will be done, just let me show you. Okay, so these are 16 images of complete nice, and this is just a function to generate the images and save the images so that we could see and save it for future for future use and for presentation purpose, as I've already presented to you. So this is just a function for that. Then what we'll be doing is that for each epoch we will apply the gradients to adjust the parameters, and for each epoch, this means that for each epoch, if we apply this epoch modulus 10, then each of the 10th epoch this will happen. But what we are interested in is looking at the result after each epoch. So we will be finding out the mean of the loss for the test data set. This loss is basically having this mean, metric.mean. So once we have that, then we will generate it and save it. So we'll save the image and also look at it inside this notebook if you run it again, but it will take some time. Okay, once we have that, then we display all of the images, and this is where we are storing the GIF, like GIF form of all these images. Now the whole idea is pretty much easy. Just let me run this. It will make much more sense to you. It might take little time, but it's better that you see this generate and save images part. Okay, look at it. So it will take little time. This is the first iteration where this is complete random nice, but after this random nice, in the second step you will see the adjustment of mean and variance and generation of some image. Okay, so this is the epoch 1, and in second epoch it will get better. Still there are a lot of randomness, and these images does not make sense yet. However, we could see this 2 and this 0 getting generated. It will improve again in the next epoch. Okay, now it has improved a bit, but for few epochs it will improve even much in much better way. Okay, so this is how it is done. Let me just tell you one last time, and we'll look at those images again. So this is the inference net, this is the generative net, this is just sampling an image given this mean and variance using this decode and sample together, and this encoder part is just looking at this inference net and dividing it into mean and log variance, reparameterizing it, and then we calculate this log normal probability distribution function values and this cross entropy loss, and then adding together. This is kind of a elbow loss that we are calculating here. Okay, once this whole cell contains all of the implementation or logic for elbow loss, and once we have that, then we apply the gradients and we learn it, and this is just for showing purposes, and this is how it is done. So this is epoch 3. It might make some time, so each epoch is taking about 30 seconds. So after 100 epochs it will converge to a very better place. I hope so it makes sense now.